rivers intimately. When he's not guiding for us, he's guiding the children of Whitefish at Whitefish Middle School, where he's a teacher. Keith's first rafting experience was on the Animas River in Durango, Colorado, and through mysteries of synchronicity, first river guiding job was on the same river, same company in 1994. He is also guided in Utah, Idaho, Alaska, and Canada. The Middle Fork of the Flathead is Keith's favorite river, and he's here to make it yours too. Here you are. Welcome, Keith.
Thank you, Danny. Cool. So I got to time myself because I can be long-winded. You know, teachers, we spiel on it. But anyways, it's an honor to be here. You know, like Danny said, I mean, it's funny. I showed up here in '97, and I feel like that was yesterday. But then when you do the math, like, wow, that was a little bit ago. But anyways, guiding here on the Flathead River System in Glacier Park has been one of the truly great honors of my life, and it's difficult for me to kind of pull apart or separate the park from the Middle Fork, from the North Fork, from the Bob Marshall. They all kind of come together into one watershed, and it's been amazing. And so I was going to come up and talk a little bit about some of the legends of Flathead, and people like Josephine Duty and Slippery Bill Morrison, people that have great stories about them from the Upper Middle Fork. But this guy John Fraley did it a lot better. If you haven't read this book, read it. It's amazing. I want to talk a little bit about some of the unknown legends, and you might know some of them. Some of them are here, and you know, the way you get to know them is just by spending time up there in the river. And you know, every river trip is different, and it's been the thing that I've learned more than anything else on the river is that when you get out there and you give people a chance to talk, you know, everyone has a story, and when you kind of give yourself that space and give each other that space, you learn a lot. And I got two stories about the Middle Fork that were kind of fun for me. I had one great trip a few years ago where I was flying into Schaefer Meadows. I was guiding with my good friend Kyle Federley. And how many of you guys been to Schaefer Meadows and done an Upper Middle Fork trip? Raise your hand if you have. Good number, but not enough. Get up there. One of the things I like about Schaefer Meadows is that you kind of have to work to make that trip happen. You know, you need timing, you need good weather, and then when you land there, you've got a quarter mile or a half mile from the airstrip down to the river. So you got to haul your gear down there, and they have this like World War II style gurney type thing that it's like really hard. And sometimes you take cam straps and put them over your neck, and you're carrying loads down the river, and it's hard. And I don't know, I guess Coulter, you guys, Forest Service has you got a wheelbarrow somewhere. I hope that you guys aren't using it for the wrong purposes. But anyways, I like it that you have to carry all the gear down to the river because it kind of it just makes it more special. It makes it things that you have to work for, it makes it more meaningful. And so anyways, my friend Kyle and I, we're carrying gear down there. You know, we start at 8:30 at night. It's beautiful sunset, red, you know, beautiful light up in Argosy Mountain, and we're carrying gear for 2 hours, up and back, and then it's getting dark, and then we got our headlamps on, but we got people showing up at dawn the next day, and we got to get the boats inflated and the boats rigged up. And after 2.5 hours of this, it's 11 o'clock at night, and we're giving off the pheromones of wounded mammals, and I heard this twig snap. I stopped and turned, and 30 feet away from me, there was these two eyes staring at me, and Kyle and I are both holding on to this thing, and I said, "Hey, Kyle, I think there's a large predator right next to us. What should we do?" And, "I don't know, Keith, but by the space between its eyes, I think we should keep talking." "I agree, Kyle. What should we talk about now?" I don't know, but it's nice out except for that animal. And we kept going on for 2 minutes, and finally this big cat just got bored of us talking and slinked off, and we saw his tail. Like, wow, that was pretty wild. And it was pretty funny because after that last load, we're sleeping right next to the river, and that's my favorite thing, is to just sleep right next to the river you're about to launch on the next day, and to kind of have that space where you're waking up next to the river and kind of getting a sense of its mood a little bit. And Kyle, we're about to get to go to bed, and Kyle's putting on his life jacket, and then he's putting on his helmet. I'm like, "Kyle, what are you doing?" And he's like, "Well, since that cat was just 100 meters away, I figured I want just like that extra little bit of protecting along my vertebrae, and then maybe my helmet, and then if it gets really bad, I got my river knife right here." And I paused for a moment and said, "It's a good idea." There I was sleeping in my life jacket with my helmet on, and it was cracking me up. And Kyle and I, every time we see each other, we just laugh about it because we can't not laugh about it. And And I don't think we told people about it until the last day of the trip, so people didn't get too paranoid about mountain lions and whatnot. But I found it really funny because a month later I was in Alaska and I was guiding a trip up there on the Alsek River, which is just this mighty, mighty river. It makes the Grand Canyon look like a little ditch, and it's just the most powerful thing I've ever seen on Earth. And it's amazing, and I like this river better, but that's a different story. But I was there, and around midnight I was getting ready to go to bed, and I saw this huge 800-900 pound brown bear kind of slowly sauntering towards our camp, and I was like, whoa. And I got my buddy Seth up, and we're like, what do we do about this? Because he was just kind of, he knew we were there, and he wasn't habituated, but he was just kind of heading towards our camp. And I was like, well, let's just get some pots and pans. And so we did that, and then we grabbed a foghorn. And then when this bear got close, we started banging this stuff and whatnot, and then he just kind of, whatever. And he saunters around, and then he tries to come into our camp another way. And then we blast the foghorn, and he didn't really blink. And then he tried to come in a third way, and then our friend John, this old timer from Idaho, was guiding with us. He just started chasing him like he was a raccoon, and we're, oh my gosh, this is what John dies right in front of our eyes. And this bear just like stomped both his paws into the ground, like, oh my gosh, he's gonna die right now. And by the grace of, I don't know, this bear decided to wander off. And then everyone else went to bed, and I just sat there and was like, well, I'm not convinced that guy's gone, so I'm going to sit here and I'm going to just chill out a little bit. It was beautiful. It was 12:30 at night, and sunset's just kind of starting up on Mount Kennedy up there in Canada, and at that point. And then I was like, the wind's blowing hard enough that if that bear comes back and I yell, no one's going to hear me if I got my life jacket with me. So I went back and I put my life jacket on, and I was like, this is the second time in a month I've been wearing my life jacket at midnight for predator protection. This is funny. And it was just this great, great trip. And we got back from this trip, and I was with my good friend Joe Vivey, and we were at the Southeast Alaska State Fair in Haines, Alaska. And we're having a great time there. And we were having dinner with this gal named Martha, who was one of the first Grand Canyon female guides, and she's just a legend. And Joe asked her, he's like, hey, so Martha, so who's you gotta tell me, who's the best guide on the river? Is it Mike Speaks, the guy who wrote the guidebook? And she's like, no way. He gets off the river, he just hides in his tent. He's like, I think it's that guy. And she points to this MC, he's this goofy looking guy. And she's like, he really can barely row. Like, I don't even know how he gets down the river. But you watch that guy with a group of people, he brings everyone in. He makes the trip a shared adventure by making it happen for everyone. And no one's when he's cooking a meal, everyone's in the kitchen. People are dancing, singing. It's a shared experience. And so that was the best guide there. But here it's different. For a long time, I think it's been Randy. Where is he? Oh, there he is. That guy right there. He's taken a lot of us in. I just showed up. I didn't really have a job. I just showed up, and I was lucky enough that they just kind of kept me on. And Randy, besides being an owner and one of the first people kind of making the river and the park work here for people, Randy just takes his guides in, his family. He takes us on adventures everywhere. I can't raise my hand if you've done a river trip with Randy, like a private river trip. There's been a bunch of us here, the Grand Canyon, the Jawbridge Bruno. Randy, brings us in and helps us create shared adventures with us. And so he's done that for thousands of people, tens of thousands of people that have come here as guests. He's done that for hundreds of guides. And, I've met my best friends in my life through this river and through this company. And if we could all give a round of applause for Randy, if helping make that happen. So to come full circle with the mountain lion up there, I had an interesting trip a couple years after that. I had two Navy SEALs that were brothers, and then their dad, who was a Green Beret, and then his dad's girlfriend came on this trip. And it was interesting because these guys, they were Class 5 whitewater kayakers. They didn't need guides, but they wanted to make this trip happen for their dad as well. And so we flew into Schaefer Meadows. These guys were awesome, and it came time to carry all the gear down. I've always prided myself on being in good shape. I kind of like that. I was like, all right, give me that boat. I got that. Give me that cooler. And I tell Dan and Will, hey, Dan, let's carry this boat. And they were just like, hey, Keith, we just kind of work as a team. Sorry, we got that. And then they're like, yeah, you can take those paddles. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm carrying paddles. And so it was pretty fun. I didn't get to carry anything heavy down the river at all. And so we're doing this trip, and we were just having a great time. And we got their dad fishing up at Castle Lake, and it was awesome. And the dad caught a couple fish, but after that, he was bored, and he was more interested in teaching me how to fish. And I'm a struggling, learning, evolving fisherman, and there I was. I had this, green beret guy teaching me how to fly fish. He's just like barking orders at me. He's like screaming at me, and I'm trying to keep up with what he wanted me to do. But it was just one of those funny trips where later I was like, man, why am I here? I'm like obsolete already. This doesn't make sense. And what I learned was that I was there to listen, and that's why I was there. And so one of the last nights of this trip, we were talking with Dan and Will, the two SEALs, and we kind of got a glimpse into their world and some of the impossible situations that they have to deal with in different parts of the world. And I asked them, I was like, hey, where do you meet? Where's the nicest people in the world you've met? And they're like, oh man, there's just amazing people everywhere. People of Afghanistan are amazing. These people just get caught in these impossible situations where they're stuck between corrupt government and corrupt warlords, and all they can do is try and take care of themselves and their families. And we just meet amazing people, but I don't know, maybe the people in Uganda are the most amazing. And we kept talking that night, and we said, well, how do you get through some of those impossible situations when you're stuck somewhere where life is really tricky and it's just hard? Because I couldn't believe a glimpse of some of the stuff they're telling us. And they said, you know what? We think back to that Flathead River system, and we think back to that South Fork trip we did with our dad 4 years ago, and how magical that was for us. And so when we're there someplace that's really hard, we think about Flathead River and this place, and that's what we're here. That's what we're fighting to protect. And so it was one of those just humbling moments to just sit there and listen to that and just feel, wow, that was powerful. And so afterwards, when I reflected on that, it made me realize that, man, it's so easy. I mean, when we got people like that are, really putting themselves out there like they are, I mean, the least we can do is pick up the phone, talk to our congressmen, talk to our senators, tell them that wild rivers matter, tell them that clean water matters, tell them that national parks and wilderness matters. And And so with that, I think we got to fight for rivers, but as much as anything, I think we need to celebrate them too. And so there's one little Ed Abbey quote that I really enjoy. And he says, one last bit of advice. Do not burn yourselves out. Be as I am, a reluctant enthusiast, a part-time crusader, a half-hearted fanatic. Save the other half of yourselves and your lives for pleasure and adventure. It's not enough to fight for the land. It is even more important to enjoy it while you can, while it's still there. So get out there and hunt, and fish, and mess around with your friends. Ramble out yonder and explore the forest. Climb the mountains, bag the peaks, run the rivers, breathe deep of that yet sweet and lucid air. Sit quietly for a while and contemplate the precious stillness, the lovely, mysterious, and awesome space. Enjoy yourselves. Keep your brain in your head firmly attached to the body active and alive. And I promise you this much. I promise you this one sweet victory over our enemies, over those death-bound men and women with their hearts in a safe deposit box and their eyes hypnotized by death's calculators. I promise you this. You will outlive the bastards.